Good afternoon or good evening to everyone. This is One Accord Level 2 podcast. Hope everybody's being blessed, safe, and well. Hope everybody's doing good. I just wanted to let you guys know functional depression is a real thing. Now, some people are going to, they're going to be talking about, well, you got to be careful what you speak. Well, why can't I speak about what I'm going through? Why can't I speak about what's reality and what's real for me and what's real with some of my friends? And, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, me and my homies, we talk, even if we went to school together or not, guess what? It's a real thing. And nobody's sitting up here, sometimes you can't sit up here and you can only poke and prod so much about your feelings and emotions. But somebody needs to hear it. And so there are some things that come along with what you're dealing with. It's not just about going through what you're going through. It's about making the leaps and bounds. Like I said, some people, it's hard for them to shower. Some people, it's hard for them to go work out. And some people, it's hard for them to eat. Sometimes it's hard for people to sleep. Sometimes it's hard to just function. Sometimes it's hard to show love and affection. Sometimes it's hard, to go to the mall or go to the movies or go, do whatever, go, see their other family members. And sometimes it's hard with that. And so you just have to understand, you know, everything's not going to be peachy. And number two, you know what I'm saying, people who go through depression or functional depression or anything like that, we will lie to your face and tell you that everything is okay when really it's not. Because either that means we don't trust you, either that means we have, we went through some things, where we might not want to elaborate too much with, to you, or for that matter, for being said, it could be some other things, hey, maybe I just don't feel like telling you all the deets or all the details. Maybe I just want to just go along my day. Maybe I can't handle that right now. Maybe I can't just tell you, whatever it is right now. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, some things, like I said, for some people it's hard. We're doing our best to make it through every day. We're doing our best to grow and to be better. But that does not mean that, I said we're not struggling. Like I said, we can smile in your face all day. We can laugh. And just because I'm feeling good right now, I might not feel like that in 5 hours. Just because I'm laughing with you at this moment, I might not feel that way in another 10 minutes. So you never know what somebody's going through. Some people don't have sympathy and empathy for others. They just don't. It's always they just want to know the details of everything. They don't really care about you like that. You know what I'm saying? So, get around some people who care. That's my final word for this podcast. And I do apologize because I've been sick. I haven't been feeling well, and I wanted to make sure I could get on here and I'm not coughing and hacking like I was, some weeks ago. Because I haven't really been making no videos. I made one for Mother's Day, but even then I wasn't kind of feeling that hot. But with that being said, get around people who care. Get around people who love you, who adore you, who are willing to help you. And I'm talking about for people who are on the outside. Like I said, because some people, they don't have nobody. They don't, what I'm saying, they don't have nobody to help them and to do whatever needs to be done. Because it's hard waking up in the morning, putting the kids on the bus. For those of us who have children, making sure everything is everything. Trying to make sure they're fed and they're clothed, and trying to make sure that in the end, even if you don't have kids, trying to make sure you go to work, make some money, then you have that, and then don't even get me started on being around people and being civil, going to church, doing all this other extra stuff, even if you ain't going to church. Just, bruh, sometimes it's just hard, being around your family, everybody. Some people, like I said, some of your friends and family, they care. Some of them, they just really don't. Some people, it's just whatever. But hey, we're trying to stick together. There's a community for us, and sometimes people just need to know what reality is. They need to see and meet you where you're at. Not none of this other extra stuff. Be like, hey, man, this is, let's sit down, man. Let's talk. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know what I'm saying? And just to embrace you in that way, because everybody ain't gonna see it like that. So because it's different. Everybody's not going, that goes through functional depression or whatever that they're struggling with. They might not shed no tears. They might not, cry and, do that sort of thing. But guess what? Don't think that certain songs don't make them emotional. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that it's, certain things that don't, what we call triggers. You know what I'm saying? Like you just never know. And that's the reason why you should have sympathy and empathy for others. Keep that door open. You never know who they've lost, what they've been through, what they're struggling with currently. So that's the reason why, we're building, like I said, community with our brothers and our sisters, and be like, hey, you ain't by yourself, and you gonna make it through. Because I miss my dad, I miss my grandpa, I miss my uncle, I miss some of my friends, that I just found out, just this past year that they died last year, and I didn't even know because I was going through it. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you be caring and kind and compassionate to somebody. And make sure that your words are trying to sharpen them and to help them. And make sure that, that you're going to, that you're going to make it through. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see you make it. And I want us both to make it. I want all of us to make it. But in order for us to do that, reality has to be, that's the key. So I love y'all, like I said, and everything. So this is One Accord Level 2 Podcast. Be blessed, be safe, be well. And I'll holler at you on the flip side.